already. Yeah, are you recording?
Yes, we should be live now.
Okay. Okay,
Yep,
great.
go ahead, we're live.
Start off. Hi everyone. Yeah. Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Jasmine. I am one of the co-founders of Recommend Group. Recommend Group, we run Southeast Asia's #1 home and property services platform. And we run in Indonesia as a Jasa and Malaysia as Recommend.my. So with me, I have Alex Tan, who is also a co-founder with Recommend. We started this business in 2014, 2015, actually. So I take care of the strategy, investor relations, business development and operations. And Alex takes care of the marketing side as well as product and all elements of product and our technology that's driving our platform. So I'm going to speak for about 10-15 minutes, and then Alex will actually speak first for about 10-15 minutes or so, and then I will continue. And after that, we'll leave space for any questions that you would like to ask. Okay, go ahead, Alex.
Okay, so I'll just start by telling a quick story about my own home repair problem. So 8 years ago, the water heater in the ceiling actually started cracking, and water was dripping down the false ceiling. So, panic lah that time. And I searched around, I think, just Googled water heater repair or something and picked one of the top few guys. The guy came and climbed up and then took out the broken water heater and then only said, oh, the price is actually, I believe he said like it was 2,000 plus or something. It was basically 6 times more than what the normal charges were, right? So that was the classic mistake of not really, finding a guy that has good reviews or can do the job. Yeah, so I was basically caught there lah. But it's a problem that everybody faces, at one point or another. Any homeowner, whether you have a repair or you have a renovation job, small fixes to big projects, they all can be stressful mainly because you don't know, right? You don't know whether the guy is good. You don't know whether he's done good work. You don't know how much it's going to cost. Yeah, all these uncertainties were very, very prevalent 8 years ago, and they are still now. Yeah, but but it was that point that we decided to do something about it. So the main thing that we tried to solve really was to bring transparency and trust. Yeah, you should be able to have confidence that this guy has already been proven, and the prices you should already have an idea of what the prices are going to be. Yeah, just these 2 things, and really you solved a lot of problems. I know it would have solved a lot of problems for me at that time. So that's what we started to do. And in doing, just by solving those 2 things, we brought out a few changes to the way that people search for service providers, right? So if you see on the right side, the recommend way, if you were going to find a handyman or a plumber or an electrician, anything for home repairs, now you can do it almost on our system. You can do it like Grab. Yeah, you said, I have this problem. I need it. I need the guy to come tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then we get the confirmation. Yeah, and at the same time, when you are putting in your problem, we'll start to tell you, okay, this one is probably how much. Yeah, and the person that responds to you, you already know, hey, is this guy does he have good ratings or not? And even if anything goes wrong, we will protect you with warranty as well as insurance. Yeah, so all these things were layered on, and it worked. People really responded to this service that our platform was offering, and that was 8 years ago. Since that time, I mean, we started in Malaysia first, then we expanded. Just under a year later, we expanded to Indonesia. Yeah, and in that time, we have served 1.5 million homes in the region. And today, every month, we will get 30,000 jobs, 30,000 bookings. In total, those bookings are worth USD 10 million. But of course, some of those are like, they mix, right? Some of them is home repairs where we get the booking, but some of them is like big renovation where they're asking for quotations. So all this is worth 10 million. Yeah. And the ones that we actually do the booking where the guy says, okay, I will come tomorrow, I confirm, those they can pay online. And the online payments are up to 15,000 of those jobs can be paid online. Yeah. So those are the smaller home repairs and cleaning as well. So that's our platform. And the way that we divide our system now, right? As I've explained, on the left-hand side is what we call the on-demand services. So smaller things, house cleaning, aircon servicing, sofa, mattress cleaning, handyman, electrician, plumbing jobs. Yeah. So the average job size smaller, but they can pay through our system. When the job is properly done, we will release it to the service provider. Yeah. So that's the one that I said it's our about 15,000 of those jobs. Then the middle column is our home improvement marketplace. And that's the one that I said where people want price quotes. So for renovation, anything bigger, right? Or a cabinet installation, big kitchen cabinet. For those, you don't do a booking, but you ask for quotations. And we can get you up to 4 quotations for each job. Yeah. And when you see these quotations come in, you also know, you can see what kind of jobs this guy has done before, what's their portfolio, how many star rating he has. So again, we are solving the transparency in the pricing, and we're solving the trust and the confidence. On the right side is a small interior design team that we have as well that, we service for bigger projects, but that's, not really part of the main platform. Yeah. So, you can have, on the on-demand side, on this right side, you can see that the customer can order and they can also pay upfront. Yeah. And then when the job is done, we will actually release the money. How it works for the service provider, they actually buy, they actually top up credits. So it's a bit like, topping up your Touch and Go card. Yeah, with but it's not money like we use credits. And then when there's a new job, if the service provider wants to take it, they say, oh yeah, I will take this job. I spend a little bit to take the job. Yeah, so that's what we mean by deduct credits. The same thing happens when the pro wants to make a quote on the marketplace side. You see the left-hand side there. So we'll get more than one pro quoting you for the big renovation job, right? But only the one that moves on to start a deeper discussion with the customer, those are the ones that we will deduct commissions. At the beginning, when they're quoting, we'll deduct credits. Yeah. So you can see that there is the service providers are happy to provide a small percentage, right, in terms of credits or commissions, because they also get quality customers. So the types of service that we have really is spread out. You can think of it as, there are some that is high value, big jobs, but they don't happen so often, so they are low volume. But there are others that happen very often, but they are low value. So you can see that on the bottom left would be things like, electrician, handyman. Bottom right is the very high volume, things that happen almost every week, right? Cleaning, yeah. But there are also those high value and high volume. You see the blue color ones, and those are the ones that actually is servicing the family mart, or a cafe, or offices, because they run, let's say they run a restaurant, yeah, and then if the aircon break down, we need to fix it right away. So it's urgent, right? But because they have so many restaurants and we service them, there's always going to be all these kinds of breakdowns. That's why it's high volume as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of jobs like this. What we're showing here is that it's spread out, and we can handle, when there's low demand in certain areas. Let's say it's very cold, rainy season, right? Then okay, maybe aircon servicing will drop, but then roof will go up, yeah, because the ceiling is dripping. Yeah, so there's a balance here, and it means that our requests or our bookings are steady throughout the year. So because of our platform, the way it works, we've been able to become the engine that can provide the services to all the other partners, to many other organizations. If you look at the top left, you can see Grab, Shopee, and Boost. And yeah, it's true. We are partnered with Grab in Indonesia. So if you go to the Indonesia Grab mobile app, right, and you can see like food and car and deliveries, but you also see home service there, and cleaning goes straight to us. Yeah. On the top right, you can see IKEA, Cots, and Aeon. So anybody buy aircon there, the installation will come to us. Yeah. Then you can see the bottom left, Marsing and Sunway. Any of the homeowners that are part of their community got problem, it will come to us. Yeah. So you can see that, you know, we can really this engine can handle all kinds of different partners, yeah, and new ones as well. Jess, can you explain the exit potential?
Can. So what Alex is describing and what we have is essentially a tech platform that powers and automates services, right? No matter whether it is a high value service or a low value service, we have more than 100 categories that are frequently requested every month. And even though we only focus on about 20 of them right now, this engine that we've built, this plumbing, is able to handle many different categories and many different inputs as well. So not just our own website, our app, we also link to places like Grab, Shopee, Boost, and all these requests come to our back end to be served by our service providers. When we look at other parts of the world, there are notable players as well in the US, like Home Advisor, Handy, Thumbtack. They are around the range of $2 to $4 billion. And then in India, we have two very strong players, Urban Company as well as LiveSpace. They are growing fast, very large, and also quite close to achieving profitability by this year as well, right? So this model has a lot of network effects, and the profitability and cash generation is actually quite established. In Australia, we have a few players like HighPages as well as Airtasker. They have also listed in a range of about $200-300 million and very close to profit as well, right? So with this, you can see that very local business, that is true, but they are ability to scale, ability to be very big, ability to IPO as well as have strong cash flows at the same time is established in many different parts of the world. Now in Southeast Asia, we want to be that player, right? Right now, we are only in 2 markets. Imagine if we expand to Singapore, Vietnam, Philippines, Thailand, and all these different markets as well, right? So that is the potential of what you could be investing in. And you ask yourself, hey, why now, right? Well, now is a great time because we are #1 home services platform in Indonesia and Malaysia. And by virtue of the volume and the GMV that we do, we are the largest, right? There are no other players that even come close. And the second one, what we realized about the home services industry, especially, it is very resilient. Before COVID, it was growing really fast. During COVID, some categories grew fast as well, even though some categories were a little bit slower during COVID, other categories more than made up for it. So even during COVID, every single year we grew. And when the lockdowns and all that lifted, we continue to grow, right? So we realized that, okay, the categories that we have is very resilient. And essentially what we have built, which is a tech platform that automates customer acquisition, payment, retain the customer, and track the quality of the service providers, all these things, we can do it in a very scalable way because we are a tech-driven business, right? That's the most important thing, that if you have to remember one thing, you have to remember this: we are a tech-driven business in the service industry. Okay, and we are continuing to grow every single year, 30 to 50%, and we will be profitable in 12 months' time, right? That is our aim and our target. Okay, I'm going to show you a few numbers now. Don't have to focus on it too much, but essentially the liquidity of the platform. Customers make a request, service provider pick up the job, and customers say, yes, I'm interested to hire. That is what this graph is actually showing you. And you can see that there's been a lot of growth since 2019, no matter whether or not there's seasonality. Definitely seasonality, right? For example, times like Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, we have a lot of demand. Some parts of the world are slightly quieter. For example, the month of February is really the road one, right? But the liquidity continues to grow, which means that customers continue to use us, service provider continue to find us relevant. So we're not the same as a company that has started 2-3 years, not quite sure whether or not it can scale. We have shown that it can scale, right? And if you look at the number of jobs transacted over our platform, and this is just transaction, because we also have lead generation, right? But this is just transacted alone. You can see that if you're asking yourself a question of, will people actually hire a plumber online, or will people actually hire a renovation contractor online? It is established already. Our transactions increase 5 times in 4 years, which means that, and this, by the way, is on a basis of a lower and lower marketing spend, because we are trying to go towards profit, right? So on the base of being able to bring transactions online, we have shown that this is possible at scale in Indonesia as well as Malaysia. Okay. And when you look at the revenue and net revenue side as well, you can see that there are seasonalities, but every single quarter in 2022 is higher than 2021, and same for 2023. Now we are expressing the highest ever quarter, and it will continue to be that way because home services is growing. More people spend time at home, therefore more home services, right? So it is very low risk in terms of the business fit, okay? And then post-COVID, right? What is COVID? Everyone forgotten already, right? But essentially, there are some things that change. The first one is that home is becoming center of activity. People used to spend a lot of time in the office. Now getting back to the office is also a bit of a challenge, right? They like spending time at home because it gives them a lot of flexibility. So this benefits us because previously when people are at office, the aircon servicing and all that are all ducted aircon, right? Ceiling aircon, all handled by the property manager. But now when they are stressing out their home aircon, their home fridges and all of that, they have to make their workspace nice at home. They are coming to us to look for this sort of services. And then the second one is that in times of uncertainty, and everybody is saying 2023 going to be super uncertain, businesses don't like to hire full-time maintenance staff. They don't want to hire full-time handyman, full-time installers, full-time delivery guys. So they outsource it to us. And some partners that we are currently working with, Courts, for example, if you go to Courts, you buy aircon there, they will sell you installation service, but it's actually supported by us. Why don't they hire their own installers and their own servicing? It's because we can handle it nationwide. They don't have to hire, or they don't have to acquire or even like deal with small little aircon contractors in every single city. No, we do it nationwide for them, right? So from that perspective, businesses are moving to platforms like ours. And then the third one is that now workers also prefer flexible-based jobs. So, they need to take care of their children in the morning, but in the afternoon, they can do 6 hours of cleaning. We enable them to do that very flexibly, right? Which is why this model is really, really taking off. Okay, but what are we essentially building, right? Are we just going to be an on-demand app for service? Yes, that's part of what we are doing, but there is more. So if you look at that big giant, red square in the middle, pink square in the middle, we are building a platform that automates marketing and sales, CRM, payments and credits, scheduling, quality and trust for customers, whether or not the customers come from the web and app, whether or not it comes from Family Mart and all of that. All these customers flow to our back end, and then service companies and individual technicians pick up the job. So it could be a service professional who is a cleaner, aircon installer, repairman, mattress cleaner, whatever is it, right? Renovation contractor. The moment they jump on our platform, they are already having all these tools that they can grow their business. They don't need to sign up for online, offline payments. They don't need to sign up for credit card terminal, none of that stuff, right? It all works through our platform already. And in this way, we collect a lot of data that enable us to launch other types of business. So for example, we understand customers very well. We know how big their homes are, whether or not they spend a lot on renovations, we know that. We also know a lot about our service providers because they have reviews and ratings. They come to our platform. We know how quickly they deal with customers. We know how many transactions they do a week, right? We have a lot of data, and we can potentially launch services that target the customers and target the service providers as well. So one of the things that we've expanded into is the aircon supply chain. So now we know that, we do a lot of installations, we do a lot of servicing. Why not provide the aircon as well? And even extended warranty and being able to support extended warranty, right? So that is our plan moving forward. And what do we intend to do? 3 things. On the B2C side, we'll spend 30% of our time and resources to enhance the algorithm for allocating jobs using AI to accurately predict the price of repairs and renovations. That's what we're doing. We are enhancing the app user experience and the retention features to build in things like memberships and packages into our platform, so it can be handled through our platform itself. Second thing, we are also growing the B2B side, right? So far we have Courts, Aeon. In Indonesia, we have signed up people like Blibli, and as well as Alfamart. Alfamart is a convenience store chain, a bit like 7-Eleven, but maybe 10 times bigger. They have got about 17,000 branches, and they've only given 300 to us so far, and the work is like a lot already. Okay, a lot of their branches are very old, so they're trying to do up their branches. Okay. The third one is repair network. That is still a little bit more experimental. We are supporting insurance players like that to connect to our network of service professionals, right? So that is what we are doing with the funds that we are raising. So it's always going to be a combination tech and training. In terms of training, in terms of tech, actually, the focus is obviously on conversion, retention of customers, and retention of the service providers. In terms of the training side is where we are truly different, because we have a network of business partners in every single city that takes on the acquisition, the training of our service providers, and all these technicians and cleaners, masseurs, and all of that, they are trained on our SOPs, our standards, our uniform, our payment systems, and we would then be able to split commissions back to this business partner for using us. Okay. So that is the thing that we are doing in every single city, so that we can scale without needing to expand our number of team members across every single city. On the B2B side, we are signing up a lot of partners, and this is why we are also raising funds, because a lot of these partners require a slightly different flow in our system. We will have to do some enhancements. So for example, if you're handling a convenience store like 7-Eleven, for example, our B2C flow is very straightforward. You order cleaning, you pay for the cleaning, and then the job is done. But for B2B, it's a little bit different, because firstly, they have got 17,000 branches. We need to know which branch the order came from. So that's one enhancement we need to make. Then HQ will need to approve a certain spend. And then when it comes to invoicing, it is actually bulk invoicing. So there are changes that we need to make in our system to deal with B2B for sure. And also B2B got 30 to 60 days payment terms, right? So it's something that we need to take care of as well. So repair network, we are making Malaysia cool again, and hoping to make Indonesia cool as well very soon. And being able to support extended warranty is something that we really, really want to do. Okay. So break even in 12 months, clear path towards it, making good progress, and we hope that we'll get there in shorter time, but very clear path towards it. Okay. So in terms of our structure, and if any of you want to support us, we certainly hope you do, because we want to grow with you, right? Our whole core Recommend Technologies Private Limited is actually in Singapore, which means that this Singapore whole core owns 2 companies in Malaysia and 1 company in Indonesia. The 2 companies in Malaysia are RTSB, which is the issuer for Pitchin, and it will issue the shares on behalf of Pitchin. And then later on, we will swap it over. I'll explain to you how it works, right? But essentially, this is our marketplace. This is our interior design company. And in Indonesia, our marketplace is also this business unit over here, right? So we will actually issue shares from Malaysia. We will then swap it over to Singapore shares in 6 months' time. So when you invest, it is actually the Singapore entity that you're investing in. And the Singapore entity owns 100% of all these 3 subsidiaries. Okay. And it will be amount raised of a minimum $1 million, $1 million ringgit for 2.2% of the company after the swap. Or you can, if you put in more, the total amount will allow a 11% ownership in the company, right? So that's what we are going for. The minimum investment is only 4,290. So depending on how large a player you are, you can invest more. Now, if you are a customer with us, we are also giving additional credits depending on how much you invest, right? And service professional, we're also giving you priority as well as more credits to grow your business if you invest in us. So the idea is that we want our customers and service providers to invest with us so that we get more engagement, loyalty, things like that. Okay. And in terms of exit and liquidity, you invest today, we will be raising another round towards the end of the year or beginning of next year, which means that there will be an increase in valuation, as well as our revenue increases, we also will be able to value our business higher. So at that point, we will give an opportunity for pitch-in investors to exit at a higher valuation. And in 3 years' time, we are aiming for either a buyout or an IPO at that point, right? So those are the 2 points in which you can potentially exit. Now, talking about the management team, the good-looking people on screen, on the right of the screen, you will see Alex, that's the other person on this call as well. So I take care of strategy, funding, business model, operations, business development. Alex takes care of marketing as product development, as well as on the technology side, right? JB and Chloe, who are the two people standing on the right hand side of the screen, are taking care of respectively growth and data, as well as the whole of the marketplace. So these two have been with us since 2015, and they are super familiar with the system, more than we are, in fact. And the guys on the left hand side, Anthony is our co-founder based in Indonesia, so he's also a co-founder. And Henry on the left is the country GM for Indonesia. Our tech team and the bulk of our employees actually are Indonesian and based in Indonesia. And Pak Dani, who is the head of finance and B2B, as well as Pak Bayu, takes care of the Indonesian team. Okay, our tech team is all in Indonesia, which is why our cost base is actually lower than the typical Malaysian company. Okay. So at this point, I would like to pause and see whether there are any questions coming from anyone. I'm going to minimize my screen so I'm able to look at the social medias. Are there any questions from anyone on the call? Maybe Vincent or anyone who's on the call right now would like to ask any questions? Or is it very clear already and you're definitely going to be investing? Let me see.
There are no chats or no questions on Facebook Live or LinkedIn Live at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, the questions usually come in. There's one question asking what is the minimum amount of investment, and that will be 4,290. So our smallest investment is 4,290, and our largest investment to date is about 200,000 something from a single investor. So you can give, you can invest any amount in between that. I think it's 4,002 multiples of 4,290. Yeah. So essentially, the more you invest, obviously, the more shares you will get, and the more benefits you get from credits on our platform as well. So our largest institutional investor is about $1.5 million, which is about 6 million ringgit or so. So there are very institutional, very large investors on our cap table as well. And some of these names you would recognize it. We are also supported by a lot of Malaysian government organizations and grants. For example, Cradle, Malaysian Debt Ventures, and through Gobi, we are also invested by Khazanah. So these are some of the investors that we have on our platform. We have got investors from East Europe as well as China as well, and Singapore definitely. So yeah, our governance and everything is at that level. We have already done multiple institutional rounds. Yeah. So if there are no questions, I'll probably end the call. If there's anything, right, you guys are connected to me on WhatsApp. Let me just share my deck again so that I can present the, yeah. So if there's any questions, this is my contact details, right? So feel free to either WhatsApp me or call me or email me, whatever. And I'm happy to answer any of the questions. You can also paste it on the pitch-in Q&A. And I will respond to that. I promise to respond faster. I've been a bit slow at that, but I will respond to it there as well, right? And next week, actually, we will be having a physical presentation. So I'll be hosting a Buka Puasa session next week, most probably, let me see, maybe not Tuesday. I think I'll probably have to move it to Thursday, which is a little bit close to Raya. So I need to see how many people are attending. But if you are interested in attending a physical session and visit our office, please reply and then I will send you the invite and details. All right. If there's nothing else, thank you so much, everyone who attended the Zoom session, and thank you so much, Alex. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Thank you. Goodbye.